Back home now, and a political issue that governments on both sides of politics have grappled with for years, the contentious link between alcohol advertising and sport. A new report by the Preventative Health Task Force has put the issue back on the national agenda. It's understood the task force has recommended a ban on alcohol advertising in sport to help tackle Australia's binge drinking culture and curb the massive cost of alcohol-related violence to the community. But the Health Minister won't be drawn on whether the controversial recommendation will get the green light. Kieran McKechnie reports.
It's difficult to deny that in Australian culture, alcohol and sport go hand in hand.
The Carlton Draft Part-Time Spectacular.
But many warn it's a destructive mix and think it's time to break the link.
Alcohol and sport is a very dangerous cocktail. We've seen that with sporting heroes like Andrew Symonds and others. Our kids look up to these people and the first thing that they see is alcohol.
Family First Senator Steve Fielding has long campaigned against alcohol advertising in sport. In fact, he scuttled the government's Alcopops tax over it.
Don't hide behind a blatant tax grab and a fistful of dollars.
So he's buoyed by reports the National Preventative Health Task Force has recommended a ban.
Costs Australia $16 billion each year mopping up after excessive alcohol. That's a drain on our economy. 40% of police time is alcohol related. Quite clearly this is costing us all a lot of time and money, and the Rudd government needs to make a tough decision.
The Drug Foundation agrees if the government's serious about tackling binge drinking, it must start with sport.
It really does send the wrong message to the whole of the community. And look, if you want to look at the really obvious example, last month Ricky Ponting announced in London that Andrew Symonds would be sent home to Australia because he's got a binge drinking problem. And here he was in this press conference with a VB logo on his hat.
But the sports industry warns a ban could cripple the nation's big codes, which earn millions through alcohol sponsorship every year. That'll be firmly on the Health Minister's mind as she considers the report, but she's giving away no hints as to where she'll land on the recommendation.
I'm not getting into ruling in and out things that may or may not be in reports that haven't yet been released. Let's be realistic about it. People expect us to take these sorts of reform options seriously. There are complex questions to be considered if we want to reform the health system. Some of the issues the government's tackling with will be the biggest reforms since Medicare several decades ago, and we are going to make sure we do it in a careful and considered way.
The opposition is not so cautious.
Any advertising that encouraged irresponsible use or immoderate use of alcohol is obviously undesirable, and there are advertising standards that prevent that. So I don't see the need for a ban.
If the government does go ahead with a ban, it wouldn't just be a change in legislation, but a whole shift in Australian culture. Kieran McKechnie, Lateline.